Things at Perrin Airfield look a little different now than they did when Major General Patrick Halloran last saw them more than 60 years ago. After more than 3 decades as a pilot in the U.S. Air Force, he returned to the runway where his successful career took flight.
The meeting room at the Perrin Air Force Base Historical Museum was filled to capacity to listen to the story of one pilot who made his way to the cockpit purely by accident.
They had just gone to the blue uniform, and this guy was sitting there resplendent in his beautiful blue uniform, and I said, "Oh, that's really cool. That guy looks nice." So I just went over to chat with him, waiting for the Army guy. 30 minutes later, I was in the Air Force.
Halloran received a draft notice and went to sign up for the Army just like his older brothers. When he saw the line was long, he walked across the hall to pass some time.
I loved the challenge of it. Every day was a challenge, particularly as a student.
Halloran completed his basic flight training at Perrin Air Base in 1949. His career would take him to bases in Oklahoma, Georgia, Nebraska, Texas, and Maine. Halloran learned to fly spy planes like the U-2 and the SR-71 just as they were put into commission.
As I went to altitude for the first time, I passed all the altitudes that I had ever been to, and I kept on going, kept on climbing, and I said, wow, look at that altimeter. It's in an area I've never seen before.
With more than 11,000 total flying hours, Halloran retired from the Air Force in 1983 and was inducted into the Aviation Hall of Fame in 2005. He still flies his own recreational aircraft today, which he brought in for the weekend from his home in Colorado Springs.
I had the privilege of parking him on the ramp out there, and we tied him down.
As he flew in, he remembered exactly where his love for flying began.
I could see the whole base from the air, like I used to see it when I was flying the T-6 trainer. And it just seemed so surreal to look down in that base where I started 60 years ago.
In addition to bringing special guests like Major General Halloran to the museum, members are also preparing for a move into a larger building right next to the entrance of the airport. Perrin Air Force Base was in operation from 1941 until 1971, but now serves as a historical reminder of the progressions of military aviation. In the studio, Heather Sahr, First News.
Sunday morning, Fannin County deputies and a rescue team from Habitat for Horses discovered a gruesome scene.
Came out here and rode the property. It appears there's 23 dead mini donkeys and 2 dead horses. At this time, we have 8 surviving mini donkeys and 7 horses.
Deanne Murillo with Habitat for Horses evaluated the animal's health using a numeric scale. A 9 would indicate a horse that's obese, 5 would be ideal, and a 1 refers to an animal that's completely emaciated.
And we have 1s here, and at the very most we have 2s and 2.5.
At the time of the interview, the owner of the property, Lee Epperson, didn't want to appear on camera. He had this to say about the situation.
I live out here kind of off the beaten path, and I only know a few of the people that live in town, and that's really about it. Everybody kind of keeps to themselves, and I'm not a true country person, so I guess maybe didn't fit in too well out here. Apologize for my stupidity.
Epperson says he's been out of work for some time and didn't have money to pay for the animals. Photos on his MySpace page show the horses and donkeys when they appeared to be healthier, and when Epperson himself seemed to be much happier. Because of his alleged neglect, Epperson was taken into custody by the Fannin County Sheriff's Department. Lieutenant Daryl Parker says Epperson faces multiple charges of animal cruelty.
Each animal that we found out there, that's a separate count. So it could be very significant. He could spend a lot of time in jail for it. It could be enhanced to a felony level based on, the degree of severity. And like I said, with this many animals, it could get up that high. In fact, I believe it will.
Although the recent cold weather didn't help the conditions of some of the animals, Murillo said it was starvation that killed them.
Animals are able to withstand it. If they're a healthy weight to begin with, if they have access to food and water, then they will survive this stuff just fine. The pond there that is the only water source on this property is frozen even now, and it's probably been frozen for at least 4 days.
Habitat for Horses will rehabilitate the animals and attempt to have them adopted, but it could take several months for them to fully recover.
There's accidents everywhere. People just need to slow down on the icy roads and just stay home. That's the best advice to you.
I recommend people that who see the bridge side on the highway, please slow down, save your life. The hood popped up. The front fender is smashed so bad. The back bumper is smashed. Both sides of the door was smashed. Side curtain popped up. So basically, the car is very, very bad. I guess I stay in the motel tonight. And hopefully tomorrow morning I can get a rental car, so head back to my wife's sister's house, and we can be able to have a Christmas.